Building and sustaining positive behaviors. Super Bowl winning coach Tony Dungy attested, "Champions don't do extraordinary things. They do ordinary things, but they do them without thinking, too fast for the other team to react. They follow the habits they've learned." Forming productive habits takes effort, energy, and time, and the process will vary from person to person. A clear procedure for setting goals and integrating the habits needed to attain them is extremely important. It is not enough to will a positive behavior into habit. Building habits takes strategy and commitment. In 1981, George T. Duran, in collaboration with co-developers Arthur Miller and James Cunningham, published the innovative SMART method for setting goals. SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific. Detailed steps for achieving a specific goal or establishing a new habit must be well-defined. For example, setting a goal to run a marathon is much different than specifying the training steps needed to get there. Break down goals into concrete components and designate the tangible daily benchmarks that, repeated habitually, lead to achieving your objectives. Measurable. Second, a habit must be quantifiable. Broad goals such as, "I want to do better," are difficult to assess because better is not easily measured. Define what better looks like in terms of specific behaviors and implement a system that measures how you will get there. Achievable. Third, goals must be realistic. Often, in moments of inspiration and/or motivation, we set lofty goals which are not actually attainable. For example, if your goal is to read more books, yet you currently do not read at all, avoid making your goal to read a book a week. Instead, establish a habit of reading 10 to 15 minutes a day. Relevant. Your goals must make sense in relation to other priorities in your life. Goals, and the habits you implement to achieve them, must be clearly beneficial or they will lose their value and are unsustainable. Time-bound. Time must be a factor in designating any goal, otherwise the goal may remain an ideal rather than an accomplished objective. Deciding when and how often you will dedicate time to work on the goal are important steps in the process. Set a workable but specific completion date. Once you set a goal and outline the process for accomplishing that goal, accountability becomes critical. Accountability helps you get a pulse on where you are and the progress you're making based on another person's perspective. To get better at something, we have to look for opportunities to learn, to be teachable, and to invite feedback. Studies show that giving and receiving constructive feedback increases confidence. Part of the improvement process for any skill includes the following 3 items. Know you can always improve in some way. The advantages of establishing and maintaining a learning mindset are industry-wide and pervade essentially every area of life. In reality, there will always be someone better at something than you, and likewise, there are things you excel at in relation to others. In every area, realize you can always improve and seek intentional ways to do so. Listen to correction without making excuses, however that correction is delivered. Part of assuming a learning mindset is knowing and accepting you will not always be able to do everything right. Correction will come, but the way you choose to receive it makes the difference in what you learn. Defensiveness or making excuses only slows the learning process and will ultimately hold you back. Instead, learn to listen openly when correction is given. Assess how to apply the feedback you receive. Every recommendation will not be immediately realistic, nor will you be able to apply it exactly as suggested. However, welcoming all advice as worth your consideration is important. You may find a portion of the suggestion helpful, sparking an even better idea and/or approach. Consciously elevate the feedback that comes your way. Challenge yourself to identify 1 or 2 specific new habits to implement and ask for feedback. How will you integrate them? Who is someone you could ask to give you feedback?